Have you ever walked into a room and the mood changed a little? Not because you said anything, not because you tried to impress anyone, but because your presence did something to them. And here's the weird part. Most people will never admit they're intimidated. They'll hide it. They'll mask it as jokes, distance, or "I'm just tired." So if you've ever felt someone acting slightly off around you, here are 8 subtle signs they might be secretly intimidated by your presence and the psychology behind why it happens. 1. They overexplain simple things around you. You ask a basic question, and suddenly you get a full TED Talk. They clarify, they justify, they add extra details nobody asked for. That's not confidence. That's anxiety disguised as competence. Psychology calls this impression management. When someone fears being judged, their brain goes into prove your value mode. Because in their mind, you're not just listening, you're evaluating. 2. They avoid eye contact, but in a specific way. Not shy eye contact, not "I'm nervous" eye contact. It's more like they look at you, then look away fast. Then they keep looking around the room like they're scanning for an exit. That's a stress response. When someone feels intimidated, their body treats you like social threat, not physical danger, but status threat. And status threats trigger the same fight or flight wiring. So their eyes won't settle, because their brain is busy calculating, how do I not look small right now? 3. They subtly compete with you, even when nobody's competing. You mention something you did, and they instantly mention something they did. You say you're tired, they're more tired. You say you've been working hard, they've been working harder. This is social comparison theory in real life. When someone feels lower in status, they try to rebalance the scale. Not because they hate you, but because your presence makes them feel measured. And if they can't feel equal, they'll try to feel better, even if it's in tiny, pointless ways. 4. They give you fake confidence, but it sounds slightly aggressive. They'll say things like, "Wow, you're really confident, huh? You always have something to say. You act like you don't care what people think." Sounds like a compliment, but it lands like a poke. That's passive aggression, and it's often a defense mechanism. Because when someone feels intimidated, direct confrontation feels risky. So they release tension sideways, through sarcasm, through teasing, through jokes that aren't really jokes. It's their way of reducing you without openly admitting they feel reduced. 5. They keep their distance, but they watch you closely. This one's subtle. They don't approach you first. They don't sit near you. They don't volunteer to work with you, but they notice everything. They notice who you talk to. They notice when you laugh. They notice when you leave. Psychology-wise, this is threat monitoring. When your brain labels someone as high impact, you track them. Not because you're obsessed, but because your nervous system wants predictability. If you intimidate them, they'll study you from a safe distance, because getting too close feels like stepping into a spotlight they don't want. 6. They act unusually formal around you. They stop using slang. They sit straighter. They become professional out of nowhere, even if everyone else is relaxed. This is a status response. When someone believes you have higher social power, whether it's confidence, intelligence, attractiveness, or emotional control, they shift into performance mode. It's the same energy people have around a strict teacher, even if the teacher hasn't done anything wrong. Your presence makes them feel like there are rules, and they don't want to mess up. 7. They try to control the conversation. They interrupt more. They steer topics away from you. They change the subject when attention starts landing on you. Not always aggressively. Sometimes it's subtle, like they suddenly ask someone else a question. This links to dominance behavior and social hierarchy instincts. When someone feels intimidated, they may unconsciously try to regain control of the social frame. Because if you're calm, grounded, and self-assured, and they're feeling insecure, then every second you speak feels like you're winning, even if you're not trying to win. So they don't attack you, they control the room. 8. They're nice, but their warmth turns on and off. One day they're friendly, the next day they're cold, then friendly again. That hot and cold pattern isn't random. It's emotional conflict. Part of them respects you, part of them feels threatened by you. So they swing between two instincts. Get closer, this person is valuable. Back away, this person makes me feel small. And when someone can't resolve that internal tension, their behavior becomes inconsistent. They don't even know what version of themselves will show up around you, because your presence triggers different layers of their identity. Now here's the twist. If people are intimidated by you, it doesn't always mean you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it means you're carrying something they haven't built yet. Maybe it's self-respect. Maybe it's boundaries. Maybe it's calm under pressure. Maybe it's the way you don't beg for approval. And to someone who survives on validation, that feels like power. So the real lesson is this: don't shrink yourself just to make insecure people comfortable. But also, don't use your presence like a weapon. The goal isn't to intimidate people. It's to stay grounded enough that you don't need to. If you've noticed these signs before, tell me which one you've seen the most. And if you want more psychology breakdowns that feel painfully accurate, you know what to do. See you in the next one.